Here I'm doing some repairs on this trunk lid. This is a 61 Impala. So you can see it's pretty nasty, but overall the shapes are still there. Everything I need to create a new panel is there. You know, I have all the curves, I have the tail light buckets. So to make this, what I did is I made a template out of tape, and I taped across here and cut out for the tail lights, and peeled that off and stuck it onto a piece of sheet metal as my template. Here's what I got here. It's a little bit messed up now. I've been transported back and forth a couple times, but you see it's just regular cheap tape from the hardware store, but I laid that out to fit on the bottom of my trunk lid. Now I did add a flange for the bottom here. As you can see, I laid it out on this piece of sheet metal. I added about 3/4 of an inch. It's not really that, it's a little slightly less than that, but I made it big and I can sand it down after I fold it. But now I got this cut out, I can trim out my holes, and then I'll bend this at a 90 as well as the side. I'll bend that at a 90 just so I can lock it onto the trunk lid, and then I'll tack weld it in a couple spots, and then I'll hammer that edge flat just like I would if I was doing a door skin. Same thing. And when it's just about tight, so I know it's not going to fall off and it's even, then I actually take a cut wheel and I'll cut across this line on the trunk lid, and I can push that in and pull the trunk lid out and tack weld it. And I just do that, man. I do that all the way around. About every inch I'll do that, and sand the tack welds down, then start final welding and start final hammer and dolly on the flange as well. Because of the shape of the trunk lid, I was able to make a seam here. I can make a right and a left repair instead of having to make one long one. So it's pretty small seam, so it's not a big deal. But as you can see, my tape line would have been up here, and then I blended it into the tail light panel, okay. And you can see here I folded all the way around. On the other side of the trunk lid, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't nearly as rusty as the outside somehow. I'm not sure how that happened, but I got lucky. So I was able to just hammer this around. Once I add this right piece, which I have on the table, I'll finish all that welding, get the outside of this looking good. Then I'll pull the trunk lid off, flip it over, and I'll actually tack weld the inside of that flange to the trunk lid just to keep it from sliding around or whatever. Then I'll sand the tack welds flat, and then we can do epoxy, then seam sealer. So that's how I straightened out this trunk lid. I think it's going to come out good.